Which of those four is it when you talk to him about Tupac?
It was really about both of them. Either one of them. It was
Tupac and Suge, you mean?
Yeah.
Following the debut of the new Diddy documentary titled The Reckoning, evidence has surfaced suggesting Diddy offered a sum of $1 million to 40 gang members at an event to assassinate Tupac. This information was announced and got the attention of the Las Vegas police. The Las Vegas police documented details concerning 50 Cent's The Reckoning Diddy documentary, which unveiled unprecedented evidence about Diddy paying $1 million for Tupac's death. Observers anticipate Diddy will be formally accused of the crime. This has always been 50 Cent's goal. Even prior to creating this Diddy documentary, he attempted to expose Diddy in a post stating 50 Cent believes he dislikes Diddy because he ordered the hit on Tupac.
I hate when they leave me to talk because I always say the wrong thing. Last time they left me, I said something about puffing. You saw that? Yeah! I gotta stop doing that kind of shit. I've been talking to a therapist trying to help me with I'm saying. I said crazy no reason. Oh wait, maybe I said it to my boyfriend because he got Tupac here.
However, the Las Vegas police have been actively looking into Diddy for this crime already, and certain pieces of the evidence are troubling. Starting on November 18, 1995, Tupac was pictured with Diddy's baby mama, Sarah Chapman. Diddy referred to Sarah as his ideal woman. Once he discovered she was dating Tupac, Diddy became extremely envious. Combine this fact with Tupac's career also exploding in the 90s and him establishing himself as one of the top artists. Diddy desired the fame exclusively for himself. This is what instigated Diddy's initial attempt on Tupac. As Tupac alleged, Diddy's involvement.
I believe so. I do believe so. I have proved things that I could say that will back up my claim, but this is not for the world to know about. You know what I mean? It's between me and him, and only he knows. So every time he say it didn't happen, or that's the only thing that makes this become an issue to everybody. I was acting. Who gets shot 5 times in acts? Oh, I didn't get shot 5 times in their vision. I only got shot once because they found the book. The police found him, but now they the cops. Now they doing detective work.
Since the initial attempt was unsuccessful, he made another effort. During the Diddy trial, it was revealed that a former police officer asserts Diddy arranged for Tupac to be handled for $1 million. Suge retaliated by arranging for Biggie to be handled. Diddy employed Kefe D and his associates to target Tupac. But the most astonishing thing is Kefe D was questioned years ago about Tupac's death. He literally stated they had a meeting with Diddy regarding the Tupac hit. It makes one question why the feds never looked into Diddy further.
On all 4 of those occasions, there's San Diego, Anaheim, Irvine, and Vegas. Which ones do you actually talk to Puffy at?
Every one.
Every one of them. Which of those 4 is it when you talk to him about Tupac?
It was really about both of them. Either one of them. It was
Tupac and Suge, you mean?
Yeah.
Amid speculation that Diddy was implicated in Tupac's death, he appeared on The Breakfast Club for an interview, where the conversation became uncomfortable. They questioned Diddy regarding the rumors, and he promptly attempted to dismiss them.
Now, it was this documentary that claimed, which we know wasn't true.
Yeah, check this out. We don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother. So we're not even going to go there, with all due respect, but I appreciate you as a journalist asking. Thank you.
Because you listen, 7 years ago, I'd have been like, yo, did you hire somebody? But no, you have to do it like a journalist.
Yeah, no, I mean, we wouldn't even get into nonsense like that. You know what I'm saying? It's nonsense.
Which we never believed, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
But recent accounts disclosed Diddy is being confronted with inquiries about his supposed involvement in Tupac's demise after being referenced 77 times in a recent legal document. Kefe D, who was the individual responsible for orchestrating the murder after Diddy allegedly compensated them, stated it was Diddy's desire to eliminate him. Even a biographer who authored Tupac's life story asserted that Tupac was not suited for all the street activity because Tupac was merely pretending in the street game. As he claimed, Tupac was unable to protect himself and didn't even know how to handle a gun.
He died because all these guys sold him this lifestyle idea, but he wasn't it. He couldn't fight. He had no athleticism. He didn't know how to shoot a he wasn't that guy, but he started to believe it.
He method acted it.
100% method acted it.
However, upon further investigation, it becomes evident Diddy did not operate solo, because new accounts indicate someone far closer to Tupac also had a role. The renewed inquiry into Tupac's death is uncovering new names and proof of those implicated. The latest name mentioned is Suge Knight. When you consider Suge might be involved, it begins to raise questions about this leaked line from an unreleased Eminem track in 2003. I'm holding Suge accountable for the demise of the two greatest rappers to ever walk the face of this earth. If only the late Christopher Wallace could speak, he could tell you himself. I'm holding Suge responsible for the death of Ja Rule or anyone else affiliated with the road. It appears Eminem was aware Suge was behind Biggie and Tupac. With it now emerging that Diddy was also involved, it's plausible they collaborated. But to conceal their involvement, they attempted to frame someone else for the crime. As Detective Russell Poole, who was on the case, suspected, Knight orchestrated Tupac's murder before he could leave the label and falsely blamed the competing Blue Street gang to mislead detectives, which leads to the question of which famous Blue member Suge intended to pin the crime on. You quickly conclude that the plan was for Snoop Dogg to assume responsibility. He's one of the most recognizable Blue members from the streets, and his recent podcast revealed he was extremely close to the events. Snoop claimed he was meant to be in the car on the night Tupac was attacked.
With Tupac, though, in regards to Tupac, I heard a story, did you give him different advice that night on where to go?
I didn't give him no advice.
Right.
We wasn't seeing eye to eye.
Right.
So.
Saying during the Tyson.
Yeah, this incident that I'm explaining to you right now was the day before that.
Okay.
So when they got to Vegas, they went their way, I went back. I mean, when we got to LA, they went to Vegas and I went home. That's why I wasn't in the car with them.
They were scheduled to be together, but due to a disagreement they had in the preceding days, they were not speaking, and Snoop chose not to go.
The last time me and Tupac was on the same page, and I did an interview with Angie Martinez, and she asked me how did I feel about Puffy and Biggie, and I told her that I like their music and I want to do music with them. Bro didn't like that, Tupac didn't like that, so we had a misunderstanding. So on the flight back to LA, I didn't feel comfortable around them for what they had did, as far as I didn't let my security ride with me. So to protect myself and to prevent from happening, I slept under a blanket with the knife and the fork just in case something was to go wrong, but it didn't.
With this occurring within 72 hours of Tupac's death, the police grew suspicious of Snoop Dogg and his potential involvement, because you have to remember that Snoop was deeply connected to the streets and was also a gang member. Is it conceivable Snoop learned what Diddy informed 40 Blue members and that he had $1 million designated for whoever eliminated Tupac's? Because many speculate that Snoop could have easily discovered that information, and that was the reason he kept his distance from Tupac just before his death. But the dispute Tupac and Snoop had must have been severe, because Snoop asserts that Tupac genuinely despised him.
I say a week before he died, we was best of friends. 2 days before he died, I don't think he liked me.
Why?
Because we was in New York, and it happened. New York, they shot at me and did all kind of shit to me, like just the worst you could think of. And I forgave them. And went and did an interview and was asked, how do I feel about Puffy and Biggie? And I was like, I like it. I want to do some music with them. And that just rubbed Cuz the wrong way, like tried to kill me, out at you, and you talking about you want to do a song with him. I wasn't thinking about his emotions. I was thinking about the way I felt at the time. I wasn't into no controversy. I liked his music. They was our friends. We was all friends at one point. There's video footage of all of us hanging out.
Although the physical proof from the Diddy trial sent shivers through the courtroom when Cafe D detailed the method Tupac was killed. On September 7, 1996, Tupac was in Las Vegas with Suge Knight. They attended the MGM Grand to view a Mike Tyson fight, and after it concluded, they noticed Blue member Orlando Baby Lane Anderson in the lobby, which rapidly escalated. And after it concluded, they noticed Blue member Orlando Baby Lane Anderson in the lobby, which rapidly escalated into a fight, and after it concluded, they noticed Blue member Orlando Baby Lane Anderson in the lobby, which rapidly escalated into a fight, and after it concluded, they noticed Blue member Orlando Baby Lane Anderson
and their entourage went to the Mike Tyson at the MGM Grand. Keefe D and his nephew, Orlando Lane Anderson, and 2 of their friends were also there. Keefe D told LAPD Detective Greg Kading more than a decade ago, in a proffer that couldn't be used against him, the shooting was retaliation after Tupac jumped Orlando and him up at the casino. Surveillance cameras recorded the fight. Tupac was angry that Lane had stolen his necklace years prior in Compton. Tupac, Suge Knight, and the entourage left the casino quickly.
Security quickly intervened and ended the physical confrontation. But this incident left Baby Lane enraged. Tupac and Suge returned to the hotel to change their attire for the evening. And simultaneously, Baby Lane notified his crew that Tupac had attacked him inside the MGM Grand. In case you were unaware, Baby Lane was part of the same group as Cafe D. With all of them aware of the $1 million reward and Tupac having clashed with Baby Lane, they believed this was the ideal moment to carry out the act. Once Tupac was prepared, he and Suge got into the BMW to drive to a nightclub. As they paused at an intersection, the shooting would take place right there in the middle of the street.
Tupac's concert at the Club 662. Members, including Orlando and Keith D, jumped in their white Cadillac and started cruising the strip looking for the offender. Before long, they finally spotted Tupac's caravan. At the intersection of East Flamingo Boulevard and Koval Lane, the white Cadillac pulled alongside the black BMW with Suge on the driver and Tupac on the passenger seats. The back window of the Cadillac rolled twice in the chest, once in the arm, once in the thigh.
Initially, the feds were unaware of the identity of the perpetrator, but they suspected something was amiss with Cafe D. However, in 2019, Cafe D decided to confess about the situation and disclosed how they drove up to Tupac.
And Bubble Up was the driver, and Baby Lane and Freaky were in the back seat.
We was just all in the car together.
Okay. This was the white Cadillac.
Yeah.
So you guys are driving around, and then you hear these girls say, "Tupac, Tupac."
Got to the light. He was going to go drink, and he happened to be hanging out the window. He's hanging out the window like he was in a parade.
Tupac.
Yeah, he was.
So what happens next? You said that as you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat.
He explained it occurred very quickly because he alleges Tupac was grabbing a weapon as they approached, but that hasn't been substantiated.
You said that as you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat, and you said that Tupac pulled out a...
It looked like he was reaching, yeah. Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you actually...
No, once he got to reaching, I got to ducking.
So someone from your car
That's
started at Tupac and Suge.
It's conceivable this was Cafe D's method to attempt to claim it was done in self-defense. Or, it's possible Tupac genuinely did draw a gun, but only Cafe D truly knows. It's essential to point out that Cafe D wasn't the person who actually shot Tupac. It was Baby Lane, who was also present in the vehicle with him, who committed the act. It's just unusual that the police never thoroughly investigated this incident so that they could apprehend Baby Lane on the charges. Because, on the night of the crime, the police questioned Cafe D. They were aware he was connected to the event, but were unable to connect the dots.
You say Suge looks over, he sees you. He looks right at you.
Yeah, he looked at me.
Okay. When he looks over at you, and then Tupac's busy getting. Evidently, the story is Tupac's trying to either get out of the
back seat or something.
Yeah. What do you see happening inside of their car?
I seen him going Suge head. I thought he was.
So Orlando across Dre?
He leaned over on the window, we rolled down the window.
And if you're curious why Baby Lane was never indicted, it's because he died in an unrelated street incident just 2 years later. However, the police discovered Cafe D's genuine feelings about Tupac's death in the present day, and he expresses remorse.
I hate that happened, dog. I really do, man. It took a lot of people's lives, dude. Hate that happened. Probably to God. I feel that was wrong, man. It was just wrong, purely wrong. You know what I'm saying? I wish it had never happened. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion on it. It never happened, dude.
However, the evidence files become increasingly strange the more closely you examine them. Despite the official reports of Tupac's death, some individuals maintain he might still be alive. It's crucial to emphasize that Tupac did not die at the site of the shooting. Instead, he was transported to the hospital, and they state he died after several days. As we noted earlier, Tupac was playing a character. As an officer disclosed, Tupac was an industry creation, and his purpose was to try to halt the worsening conflict between the Red and Blue Street gangs.
Well, it turns out when I talked to Tupac's longtime mentor, political mentor, former Black Panther Chokwe Lumumba, who was his first business manager, he's told me, I basically asked, well, was Tupac only pretending to be in order to appeal to gangs and politicize them? And he said yes. And that was part of his thug life agenda that he came up with his imprisoned stepfather, Mutulu Shakur. And so Tupac was just using that in order to get the and the leaders to call peace truces, first in Los Angeles, then throughout California, and then throughout the country. And that was why he was pretending to be this type. And really, he was just an intellectual prodigy.
The strategy was actually effective because Biggie and Tupac maintained a friendship until the initial attempt Diddy made on Tupac. With the gang rivalry intensifying because Tupac was targeted, it only deteriorated further until the night Tupac was killed. But what's fascinating to discover is that Suge Knight, who was riding in the vehicle with him, believes Tupac is still alive, which we will discuss later in the video. Because in the files, there's an interview recorded with a rapper named Tretch in 2010. Tretch and Tupac were tight friends back then. But mid-interview, things turned strange. The interviewer was asking Tretch standard questions, but once he lowered the camera, he inquired about the last time he saw Tupac. Remember, this is 14 years after Tupac's demise, yet Tretch responds to the question as if it's entirely usual. He doesn't question why this journalist would be asking this more than 14 years since his passing. As Tretch answers, stating last time I saw him, he was in Cuba.
So if you ain't ready for it, get on the sidewalk.
One last question. Nobody knows. Y'all good? Yeah, we good. We good. Thanks a lot, man. We good.
A few weeks after the interview footage was leaked, a website published a video of what appears to be Tupac living in Cuba.
Zoom in. That's Pac, man. He with the outlaw. And Reg from Holla Back is trying to be friendly and get autographed. Holla Back exclusive, baby. Holla Back.
This sparked the theory that Tupac is living in Cuba, but it no longer seems like just an assumption because Suge Knight, who was riding with Tupac, asserts he was conscious and stable at the hospital. As Suge states, and I quote, "When I departed that hospital, me and Tupac were laughing and having a good time. I cannot understand how someone can go from being fine to be unwell."
When I left that hospital, me and Pac was laughing and joking. So I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad.
So you seriously think that he might still be alive?
I'm gonna tell you this, Pac, you never.
This truly causes people to doubt whether Tupac actually died. Suge Knight was among Tupac's closest associates and would have visited him daily at the hospital following the incident. When you also take into account that Tupac was an industry creation whose specific assignment was attempting to bring peace to the streets, is it possible the party responsible for Tupac decided the danger was too great for him at that time, so they falsified his death at the hospital? It's worth noting that Suge has consistently repeated this exact account in various interviews. He doesn't simply fabricate multiple differing stories as he discusses the situation. He remained convinced that Tupac was recuperating well in the hospital.
He was conscious on the way to the hospital.
He was conscious on the way to the hospital. He was conscious in the ambulance. He was conscious after they did the surgery.
What was the last thing that he said to you?
They left.
To make it even more troubling, after the interview, he was shot at in a club when a man fired a gun 6 times in his direction, which caused Knight to be reluctant to disclose anything to the police because he thought it was due to him mentioning Tupac was alive. But it gets truly intriguing when Suge's son enters the picture. Many people dismissed this as Suji's son simply seeking attention, but some individuals actually took him seriously. In 2018, he shared a post on Instagram asserting that Tupac was alive and residing in Malaysia. In the subsequent days, he posted again with a text exchange which read, "You revealed too much. Time for you to go." With Suga's son concerned for his safety, he went on a posting spree on Instagram and shared images of Tupac alongside contemporary celebrities like 50 Cent and Beyonce. He gave the impression someone was pursuing him for releasing the information as he captioned the post, "He never abandoned us. They'll be coming for me shortly." But what is your conclusion? Do you believe there's any possibility Tupac is still alive today? Or do you think law enforcement needs to investigate Diddy and file charges against